I've been playing the play-by-post game in the Discord server. My Dungeon Master recently added a new player that is playing a female elven character. He is male, and he is super sexualizing of his character. Every time he makes a post involving her, it ends in a description of her cleavage or her butt. Like the simple act of the party sitting down for dinner to celebrate our last adventure. He described his character drinking ale and the ale spilling out the mug and down. Oh my God. Bong!
My friends, thank you for accepting me into your ranks. I am honored to fight alongside you.
Valerica nods and breasts breastfully over to you before her breasts immediately
What is that guy
rub
doing?
into your
Why is he fondling himself? What's going on here?
She enjoys your presence and is happy
ignore
to have
them.
you in your
They
party.
really
She loves you
like
so
their
dearly. It's
characters'
her big, round
anatomy.
ass that presses
Okay,
onto
well,
the scene.
in any case, friends, I'm honored to be with you on this journey, and I'm glad I can help you on your quest.
Into the fluid.
Dude, it's very distracting! You think I don't know?
It really takes me out of the game because every time he posts, I'm reluctant to read it because I know it's going to lead somewhere uncomfortable. I told the DM about the issue, the DM brought it up, and this guy made a public apology to the server, but he made the excuse that he was adding the fan service because all the players were guys, and we would all appreciate it. And no, we all wouldn't. We all wouldn't. Problem is, I don't know if the DM mentioned it was me that complained because now the problem player has a companion character. And that character happens to be a druid. And why is that a problem? My character's a druid. I think that was just to spite me. Wait, hold on. Like companion, like this kind of companion? Or this kind of companion? I left the game and killed off my character and told the DM I don't want to play anymore. Probably not the best way to handle it, but if that was his response to my complaint to his bad behavior, I don't want to continue to play. Oof. Depending on the type of companion this guy made this person's character, this story took a really dark twist. I think it's just best if you leave the whole thing behind. I don't think anyone wants to listen to this guy's character breasting along breastingly. I'm the DM, first time running a long-form campaign. My players and I have been at the table for about 5 months now, and we've had some general issues that I thought were just the table learning how to play together. Several people were new to Dungeons & Dragons or new to 5th edition, and I tried to give everyone as much grace as I could. Unfortunately, last session broke the plot we've been building to. They went straight to the enemy's main place of business, killed a bunch of people, including innocents and non-combatants, and then destroyed the place. Hey, did they really commit a crime? If there are no witnesses? I might be a problem player too. The enemy they were facing has a lot of political power, which I already established. The establishment they destroyed was a legitimate place of business, even if it was used for shady purposes. They'd just been marked as heroes of the city for doing the leaders a real solid, and they'd been given a house in the city for what they'd done. They took the title, and they went and basically declared open war on a delicate situation, and there's no real way to recover the plot at this point.
Thank you! Titan has freed us!
Oh, I wouldn't say free. More like under new management.
Worse than that, I don't really have any desire to fix it. Last night at the table showed that a lot of the issues I thought we'd gotten past, hiding things from the rest of the crew, talking over me as I'm setting things up, refusing to work together, they all showed back up. Examples. They wanted a base of operations after some time. They earned one. They refused to put together any coin to furnish it in any way, though. They wanted a bag of holding. They found it on the adventure they just finished. The person who got it identified it, but wouldn't tell anyone what it is, so no one else actually knows they even have what they want. One of the players also had a vision of things to come and decided just to not tell anyone in the party. I like working with chaotic players. My siblings and I take turns running one-shots for each other, and it works out because we want to work together and have fun together. I can't handle chaotic evil players that just insist on tearing down everything that I try to build, and overall, I just feel done with this campaign. There's also a measure of disrespect running through this. I had to have a serious chat with one of them about constantly making jokes about boundaries that I set. In response, I've gotten buzzkill and Karen comments. Oh yeah.
What's up, guys? Today we're gonna be taking a look at the top 10 worst Karens that we've seen on YouTube with instant karma. So we're gonna be first taking a look at. Hey, that's not me. I just wanted them to stop being mean to me. I mean, I don't really think it's me.
Asking people to stop joking about killing and eating the party's dog, I guess, shouldn't prompt that response. Yeah, these guys don't sound like the most wonderful party to play with, and I think you need a different party. Look, the truth is, the Dungeon Master needs to put a lot of backbone in to make sure this game works. If the Dungeon Master is not feeling it, the game is going to suck. I'm not saying the players need to bend the DM's every whim to appease them. Certainly not. But it is a collaborative thing. It does need to go both ways. And the players are giving the DM literally nothing to work with. On top of just being uncooperative, they're also just a bunch of dicks. So, yeah, skip on this group, man. You'll find someone better. I pinky promise you. There are better groups out there than a bunch of murder hobos. I'm a recent fan. I absolutely love your videos. I'm a relative newbie to D&D and have been in a friend's campaign for a little over a year now. I was invited to the game by said DM, and I was looking to lose my tabletop virginity. Guys, you make everything sound. I was friends with him for over a decade, and still am, so I trusted that this guy knew what he was doing, and this would be a pleasant ride, especially considering the game was set in his homebrew world. I'm sorry, with the pleasant ride and the virginity thing, I can't. Ugh.
It's because when it came time for you to fuck me, you were very gentle.
I knew it was your first time.
Given I was new to Dungeons & Dragons and this whole scene, I wasn't confident in my ability to create an entirely new character to fit the setting. Instead, I decided to adapt a beloved OC I made for my stories and make him into a half-elf barbarian. Too long didn't read, he was the former leader of a gang who was betrayed and was saved by the chopping block by a lord who took pity on him in exchange for his services as a warrior for hire. Very edgy, I know, but I did my damnedest to not make him a murder hobo and give the man the level of depth he deserved while using the party as a lesson that he could trust people again. For a while, things were great. Sure, my guy was loud, brash, and very much an a-hole, but despite his brutish behavior, I made sure he didn't go overboard. I got along well with everyone in the party, in particular the party's wizard, with whom we coordinated an in-game rivalry, as I was chaotic neutral, he was lawful good. We even touched base consistently behind the scenes, making sure we staged said rivalry so we could have fun without it getting to the point where our characters would actively, kill each other. Everyone welcomed me with open arms and loved my character, except the Dungeon Master. I was messaged by him one day with a warning that my character was getting too disruptive, with his angry outbursts cutting his NPC short. He asked me to tone it down, which I happily agreed to. Granted, it was a challenge considering things kept happening that would anger my character, such as NPCs trolling him with sad background music during his backstory. Bro, wait, what? That would piss me off too!
Listen close. I'm from a land called Sparta.
What? What the fuck is that?
They were playing sad flute music during my backstory. The party's bar at the time was outright saying his long-lost sister never loved him. Honestly, this kind of stuff would anger anybody, but all the same, I tried to be mindful of the DM's wishes and made my barbarian less explosive. Little did I know, though, that would not be enough. One session, the DM introduced a plotline where my character was offered a chance to get information on his long-lost love and the man who betrayed his gang, if my character took part in a heist. The heist was on the same caravan the rest of the party was protecting, and honestly, I couldn't justify my character calling it off because, frankly, why would he choose a party he's only known for weeks in-game over a settling personal matter he's had for years? So we did some PvP and naturally my character lost. But all the same, I thought everything was going to be hunky-dory as I was sure the DM had some sort of plot device to settle a matter, and everyone in the party vouched for my character, insisting that he live on to repent for his crimes. Then, the lord my character's working for visits my cell, and my dungeon master has him speed run through all the lingering plot hooks and just settles them through a monologue. Right then and there. Imagine having the entire resolution to your story be like a Star Wars text scroll. Woo! Exposition! In the back of my mind, I was like, you're not doing what I think you're doing, are you? And sure enough, my character was unceremoniously sentenced to death with no check or rolls to try and save myself, and certainly not with my consent. This left me infuriated as it dawned on me the whole session with the DM setting my character up to die prematurely so he wouldn't have to deal with him, despite me compromising to make him fit the game better. I had taken a couple days to process the situation, even consulted a few other friends inside the game who were dungeon masters. As a first-time player, it felt important to get some outside opinions from those who knew the game better than I did. Like myself, they found it odd at best, completely out of line at worst, and they shared the same theory that I did. The dungeon master hated my character and wanted him out of the picture. Finally, I confronted the DM about my issues, and his excuse was that he felt like he had no choice because my guy was an extreme character. They usually meet extreme ends. Now, I admit, my opinion on the situation is colored because, as I've stated, my character is a beloved OC who I've had for years, and to see him just snatched away and murdered was like traumatizing. However, I was also doubting myself since I was a first-time player. I didn't feel like I knew everything and wasn't in a position to just question the situation further. I ended up re-rolling a new character that I had based off the main character from my favorite video game and just continued. The DM promised me that resurrection was not off the table, so that's honestly what kept me going. However, I was starting to notice the DM was getting weird about the situation. Like, when I attempted to find means of resurrection, such as scrolls or diamonds, I would be vehemently denied them, even though I had valid in-character reason to get them, as this new character was trying to save his dying father.
So, wait, my character's dead just like that? I mean, yeah, your character got their head chopped off, straight up decapitated. I didn't even get to roll. Oh my god, stop being so dramatic, okay? Your character could be resurrected. It's D&D, it's definitely possible, alright? You don't need to cry about it. Oh, okay, I can make a new character based around resurrection, and maybe after a couple months we could bring my character back. What do you actually think I'm gonna let you get your character back? Yeah, resurrection is possible, but I'll disappoint you at every step. I don't care how many times it takes. I will kill your character in the most brutal ways. I'll have them decapitated, poisoned, filleted alive. They will die in agony. Starting to think you don't like me. Damn right!
There was even a moment where I casually brought this up to an old guy in conversation, and the DM literally shouted, "Your character is freaking dead!" Once again, I was on the cusp of leaving and confronted the DM again. This time I asked him flat out, "Did you hate my character?" He said he didn't, but he was just frustrating to DM. Simile. Once again, he gave me the spiel. He didn't want to kill my character, but didn't see any other options. I told him there were plenty of other options, like jail, being put in chains by one of the other party members. Literally anything would have been preferable to simply killing him for virtually no reason whatsoever, but now we're at an impasse. I'm still in said game as my second character despite our differences. I am on good terms with the DM outside the game, not to mention the rest of the party. However, it's hard to enjoy the campaign as much as I did. I even outright resent it at times, given it's a world where my character is treated so poorly. I'm still attempting to find the means to resurrect my old character, but if I'm denied again, I think that's where I'm going to draw the line and leave. So, yeah, not a great start to D&D, and I admit, it's partially my fault for putting a character I love so much on the line like that. But I'm optimistic that things can get better. God, there's so much I want to talk about, but for starters, I understand really loving your character. I love my D&D and Draw Steel character, Yumi, and she was featured as a very important NPC in the campaign The 10th Tomb, and if you've watched 10th Tomb, you know that her situation is complicated and very morally gray. Let's just say a happy ending for her was not guaranteed. I went into that campaign knowing that, but if you put a beloved character of yours into a D&D game, you gotta be aware of the fact that they might meet an unfortunate end. However, it's something else entirely when your DM is trying to make your character meet an unfortunate end. There's two sides to this. Yes, I do think you could get overly attached to a character, but also, if the DM is blatantly targeting you, that sucks. Like, if I have a character that's not landing with the rest of the party, I ask them, how can I improve the character? They don't conspire against the character to have them killed. That's stupid and immature. The DM putting you in a position where the only way to advance your character arc is to betray the rest of the party, that was diabolical. And them killing you after that, even worse. One of my D&D party just got their account hacked. Then one of my favorite YouTubers got taken over by crypto scam in the same week. I feel like I can't be safe on the web. Thank God for Incogni. Our partner for today's video is Incogni, a service that will protect your privacy in only 3 easy steps. Look, if you're here, that means you're using the internet, and unfortunately, the internet has gotten a lot more dangerous. The number of victims of data breaches has increased over 41%, and that was just in 1 year. I know numbers rarely sway people, so I'll tell you something about myself. I've had my personal data stolen. With this personal information, my family almost got scammed, my Instagram and my Twitter were hacked, and it was a really scary time. But Incogni helps to stop that from happening. All you gotta do is create an account to tell them what personal data you want removed. You grant the service the right to remove your data, and then kick back. Incogni will handle the rest, automating the process of getting your data out of the hands of people who want to exploit it. If you guys want to secure your data privacy, sign up for Incogni. There is a link in the description and the pinned comment down below, and don't worry, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee if, for whatever reason, you want to get out of the service. As always, supporting our partners does support us. Thank you so much to Incogni for partnering up with us for today's episode. And without further ado, I'm going to turn back to an animated rat so we can get back to the video. My most recent story is short and sweet. Less of a horror story and more that the dice want to tell a really specific story. I've introduced a ton of new players to Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. As a person who had their share of early bad experiences, I take giving new players a great first game very, very, very seriously. All the new players this time around were my IRL friends and my ex. Like, had you broken up already by that point? If so, you know, I gotta respect it. We sit down for a very short introductory one-shot where we had a bunch of pre-gen characters for them to choose from, or they could just roll up on their own. They were all picking pre-gens, and the only important person to the story was the person who picked Wild Magic Sorcerer. Oh my god. I'm running the first chapter of Candlekeep Mysteries for them, minor spoilers, where they're trapped in an interdimensional library and have to find books whose binding spells are their key to their exit. The first room they get into has combat with a pile of animated books. They're all taking their turns. I'm explaining action economy, everything is going great. They're feeling like badasses. After a round or two, the sorcerer casts a spell and notices, hey, I have something here that says roll for Wild Magic Surge. Can I do that? Of course, roll me a d20. He rolls and it's a natural 1. Ooh, this is fun, I say. Now you have to roll me these 2 dice, and here's a wild magic chart that tells you what happens. I got a 7, and okay, fireball. That sounds awesome. What is that? Oh my god.
Why is it when something happens, it is always you 3?
Believe me, Professor, I've been asking myself the same question for 6 years.
My ADHD, it's swirling, man. My level 1 party of newbies just got hit with a level 3 fireball in a small 15 by 20 room. A room full of wooden bookshelves and books in a library. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
I'll see you all next week for the new campaign.
I am an experienced DM and an actor. I had nothing on this one. I just stared at my hands for a moment with a frozen faint on my face, and I thought, am I witnessing a TPK 30 minutes into a brand new game with brand new players? I've literally never had a TPK in any of my games, and this was happening 30 minutes in. Yeah, it was. Some of you might be saying, I should have fudged it, but that would have set the precedence that Fireball wasn't a big deal in these new D&D minds. Happily, since we're literally friends and neighbors, we have had an 8-session game planned starting this month. The other players gleefully rib Sorcerer in real life every time he starts cooking with fire or lights a candle. Watch out! He's got Fireball! Everyone ducks. Thanks for reading. Even if it doesn't make it into an episode, my players had a great time. But for me, this was my nightmare. Hey, made it to an episode. Look at that. I can't believe the pilot episode of One for All was actually perfectly recreated in this Dungeons & Dragons game. You know what? Sometimes fiction is not as strange as reality, and here we see that the reality is D&D and many TTRPGs have random factors. Look, the likelihood that you're going to be in this exact situation with a wild magic sorcerer, it's low, and that's why I say embrace that chance. If there wasn't a chance that everything could go horribly wrong this early, then where's the fun in D&D? Besides, the DM has the ultimate power. If you really need to, there's nothing wrong with a retcon or a walk back. But when you have moments like this, man, it might be worth it just for the fun of it. I, 19 female, have started playing tabletop role-playing games this year. In October, I met some people in my college who wanted to start a Vampire the Masquerade campaign, and I joined them with a friend of mine. We'll call her Lisa. It started out great. Jesse, the DM, was really good. We were 6 players, and although it was a bit tough to be immersed or to hear each other, I still had a good time playing. As weeks went by, a guy from the group, Peter, 28 male, texted me a lot. That 9-year age gap is looking pretty gappy. We talked sometimes. I thought it was just friendship, but it turned out he wanted more. He was well aware of my age and still flirted and asked me out on dates. I rejected him several times, but he did not seem to understand. One night, he writes to me at 11 p.m. telling me he wants to see me. I try to be nice and tell him no. Despite this, and multiple messages of mine explaining that I do not want to see him, he still takes a 40-minute subway ride to wait in front of my building and sleep on the bench. He left at 2 a.m. He's a very mean guy in general. Bro, he's stalking you! Fucking being mean! Anyway, yeah, he's mean. Using his shyness or his social skills as an excuse to mock people all the time, be it strangers or friends. In the campaign, he plays a Ventru? This is why I'm never gonna play Vampire the Masquerade, man. Yeah, a Ventru whose only job is to insult other players. I can't even remember one time when he was useful to the team or even to, like, himself. It became very tiring. At the same time, Peter flirted with another girl in the group, Claire. He would joke that they were husband and wife. He would hug her and send her kisses. All the while, he would ask me out. Then, he rejected her. As for Lisa, whom I mentioned earlier, he would constantly berate her. For example, she'd tell what she did during the weekend. While she was searching for her words, he'd interrupt her by saying, "Are you finished yet?" It's this all the time. For me, he would berate me because of my age, telling me I should have stayed in middle school. I'm immature, I'm dumb, I'm naive. Oh, but she's dating material, right? Immature. No. Wait. Material. Wait. I talked about with the other players. The flirting, the stalking, the mean remarks, the rejections. Claire doesn't seem comfortable with the other players, especially Jessie, and tells him about her problems with this Peter guy. So I'm kind of the only one voicing my problems. Hence why the others tell me it's up to me to decide whether he stays or not. I let him stay. What, bro? He is stalking you! I felt guilty about the whole ordeal and tell myself he's not that mean, he's just socially awkward. Furthermore, the place where we play is his place. Our campaign's first season finished in January. Jesse wants a break, and now I'll DM my first ever campaign. It'll be Blades in the Dark. Our session 0 will be tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it, and all the players are really supportive. However, I'm growing more and more tired of Peter and his attitude. If I talk to him about it, he'll apologize but keep the same habits. I just don't know what to do. There's this knot in my stomach when I think about interacting with him at all. I'm even considering dropping out of this group. I really regret that I let him stay, but I feel like there's no coming back. What should I do?
What should I do about this problem player? I mean, he's really ruining my game, man. Look, Crispy number 5, I understand how you feel, but you also need to understand how the other person feels. It's important for us to talk, and if you can't find a middle ground, then you need to kick him out. Yeah, okay. I'll talk to them. Give him a second chance, you know? It really sucks that they stalked me all the way to my home. It really sucks that they've been, like, flirting with the entire party and being generally creepy. Okay, sorry, can you just, can you just give me a couple minutes? Oh, yeah, sure. Do you need to go to the bathroom? No, I'm just taking out some trash. It's really nothing you need to be worried about. It's okay. It's okay.
First of all, thank you for your comments and your advice, and although I had a vague idea what to do, it helped me see things more clearly. I've talked about with the others in the group, they greatly encouraged me to do it, and were supportive. They agreed and thought it wouldn't significantly change our games if this guy was gone. With their help, I texted Peter and told him he would not be a part of our campaign. He said he accepted my decision, but asked me why. I mentioned the stalking and his hurtful attitude. He said he was sorry again, however, he insists that his words don't hurt anyone, and if they did, he'd stop, but I doubt it. As for the stalking, it won't ever happen again. Yeah, I thought the same thing, and then it happened again. Anyway, thanks again for your advice. I hope you have a nice day or evening, depending on the time zone. Look, I have to say at the top here, I was stalked online by a person in my life, and it was scary, guys. It was. And that was online stalking. It's not like the guy was confronting me in person. Look, I don't like getting authorities involved, especially if something's not happening actively right at this moment. But if you get a hint that this guy's up to this nonsense again, do not hesitate. I'm not gonna lie, authorities rarely do anything about stalking, but you can get the ball rolling and stuff can happen. It's better than just letting it happen. Anyway, yeah, do not stay in a game with somebody who's doing any of this stuff. I don't really know what this guy is doing or why he's acting this way, and frankly, I don't care to. If somebody's hurting me this much, I'm sorry, but your point of view no longer matters. I care about myself and my friends more than the person who is hurting us. And while I don't wish incredible ills upon them, I still am not going to keep them around. If they give me a pity party, I'm sorry. You dug your own hole. Hey, that's a wrap. If you guys enjoyed, then you might enjoy our Carconos by Night actual play. It premiered on the second channel. It's linked up in the cards and in the description. But before you go, please do leave a like on this one and subscribe to Crispy's Tavern so you don't miss any of our content as it comes out. And finally, if you want to leave your own stories or thoughts, you can go down in the comments down below. If you can't think of a comment, leave the comment. What is your character doing? To let me know at the end of the video. And by the way, if you have your own horror stories, you can send them directly to us. There's an email down in the description down below. Send your stories our way for a chance to be featured in one of these videos. But hey, even if you don't have any stories, in essence, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all next time. Farewell.
What are you?